St. Ignatius Loyola gives some advice to the director of the 30-day retreat. He tells the director that if the director is discovering that whoever's doing the retreat doesn't seem to have many movements, spiritual movements happening inside the retreatant, whether they're kind of desolation, things that really are bothering them about the faith or about their prayer, or positive, their hearts are growing closer and loving God more. If like nothing is happening, then it's time for the director to intervene and begin to ask, are you doing your prayer as you should? Are you preparing for your prayer as you should? Are you, is the person disposed to do the retreat in the way that the retreat should be done? And I'd like to expand that outside of the retreat, this bit of wisdom from St. Ignatius, and ask and have us ask ourselves about our spiritual lives, perhaps even the way that we approach our lives. Is there in what we are doing a certain fervor? Have we accepted like the vocation we have to to be a husband, a wife, a mother, a father, to be a priest, to be a sister, to be whatever it is that we feel God is calling us to do? And is there in there a certain tiredness or perhaps a lack of excitement in living our lives? We don't have to live at at the cusp of emotional highs all the time or emotional lows all the time, obviously. But is there a sense that what I am doing somehow is contributing to the life of God? Or contrary, is there like an opposition that I sense inside of me to what I'm doing? Either way, it means that we are probably more attentive to the things of God, or that we now need to be more attentive to the things of God and pay very close attention to that in our lives, because God is acting, or the evil spirit is acting, and so we need to be alive to that. If contrary, we just find ourselves with this tiredness and this lack of enthusiasm, then we also need to be really attentive to what God is doing, because perhaps we've fallen into a routine, either in our prayer or in our way of looking at our lives, and we have divorced what we're doing from the call that the Lord has given to us. It's been a great grace for me to come to the retreat house after so many years in parish ministry, which I loved and I, kind of threw myself into. But I know after a while, the routine begins to eat away at me. And so by my moving here, changing ministries, I found that the Lord is sort of reviving my life of prayer, which the Lord could have done before, obviously, and was trying to, but perhaps the routine ate at me too much. And so the excitement that Ignatius invites us to have, because we're paying attention to what God is doing in our lives, he invites that in the retreat, is an excitement that perhaps can spill out into our regular lives as we start to not take them for granted, but see in them the place where God is coming to us and wanting to respond with all that we can and all that we are. And that's the wisdom of St. Ignatius for today.